What's going on, guys? Today is the day that I'm going to make a video that I have been meaning to make for a very long time, and that is the sequel to the rates tuning video that I did about a month and a half ago. So today I'm going to teach you guys what has become kind of my method for PID tuning, and this video is going to be about like how to PID tune for feel. The method that I'm going to use is basically a slight variation of Skitzo's method. About two or three years ago, Skitzo FPV put out a video about kind of how he'd PID tunes, and that really helped me out. So I'm basically going to do that method with a little bit of a variation. The quad that I'm going to be tuning today is the quad that I showed in my last video, the KISS on BL Heli Escs quad. It's going to be that one. So, for those of you who are less familiar, your PIDs are a set of parameters that you can change to adjust the feel of the aircraft. And here's a super basic breakdown of what those values do. So if you notice, okay, so there are, 6 columns right here. These columns, which are your rates, I've already done a video about that. Tune your rates first before you start tuning your PID. So anyway, let's look at these columns and rows and what they do and what they mean. You've got 3 columns for PIDs. You got proportional, you've got integral, and you've got derivative, otherwise known as P, I, and D. So your P values right here, these are probably the most important that you get right, particularly the roll proportional axis, because basically, okay, if you increase these numbers, the quad will feel more precise. So like, for example, let's say you're trying to hit a gap and you're having trouble like lining the quad up with the gap you're trying to go through. Maybe the quad just feels a little slushy, maybe it feels just like a wet noodle that you're trying to navigate precisely, then you would increase these numbers. However, if you go too high, you will start to have oscillations when you either change direction or when you do flips and rolls. There is a way to counteract that, but we'll get into that later. The I term, or I value, integral, what have you, whatever you want to call it, this deals with external forces acting on your quad. So, for example, an external force would be wind, maybe your battery CG isn't correct. Those are kind of your main two. It's mostly going to be wind. So, if you do a massive punch out and then go to 0 throttle and you see your quad start to drift a little bit, then you would increase these values in whatever direction your quad is starting to drift. However, if these values are too high, that could also induce some oscillations, but it will also, and more importantly, make your quad feel very stiff. Now D, the last column, this is more of a smoothing of the P value. So remember how just about a minute ago I said that if your P value is too high, you'll start to have a lot of like oscillations after you tell the quad to move in a different direction, or after you do a flip and a roll. You increase D to counteract that. So D enables you to have maybe a very tight feeling or precise feeling quad, but still get away with like not having those bad oscillations. However, if you crank D up like really, really, really high, like in the 60s or 70s, not only will you induce D-term oscillations, but you have the strong likelihood of blowing out a motor or burning it up. Now, I know in Betaflight 3.5 that there's a new value they introduced called feed forward. I'm not going to include that in this video because that is something that pertains to like one specific type of firmware, whereas PID or PID values pertain to pretty much whatever flight controller firmware you decide to run. And I want this video to be applicable to the biggest audience that I can. So for that reason, I'm going to leave it out of this video. However, if you want to learn more about it, I will include a link down below to Joshua Bardwell's video. I'm going to get set up. I'm going to set my values to kind of lower than what they would normally be. and I'm just gonna fly around and talk y'all through the kind of what I'm doing and what I'm looking for. All right, guys, so I've set my PIDs to, well, okay, I'm gonna go P first, then D, and then I'll tune I last. So my P values are at 3 for the roll, 4 for pitch, and 6 for yaw. So these PIDs are gonna be a lot lower than what I'm used to, so I'll probably have to crank all of them up from there. But anyway, I'm just gonna fly it around, see how it feels. Okay, so, okay, whoa, yeah, okay, it's vibrating a lot, because D's at 0, yeah, I can feel that. Okay, I already need to put some D in it. Okay, so, KISS needs D instantly. Let's turn D up so it's not vibrating all over the place. Turn it up to 5. So I increase D so that way it's not vibrating all over the place. So let's go up again. That's better. Okay, well, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fly, just do this. Just do back and forth on the roll axis. See how I like it, and I don't know. I feel like I can come up and, whoa, okay, so I got major bounce back on both pitch and roll. So I'm gonna try turning my pitch up. Let's go to 40. I wanna try 40 for 4 on the pitch. Like, I don't know, even on 3, it actually feels pretty tight, but I've got some major bounce back on pitch. So I'm gonna increase P and D at the same time. Normally, you would increase one at a time, but since I'm seeing a lot of like big bounces after I do like a half flip or a half roll, I'm gonna increase those at the same time. Okay, just for the sake of doing this, you know, for keeping the process the same, I increased P from 3 to 4, so I'm going to go up again and just see how that feels. D is still at 5. Okay, that feels better. I like that. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave pitch P at 4. But now let's work on, okay, I'm sorry. Roll P is going to stay at 4. I like the response that I'm getting from it. So now let's focus on the next axis, which is our pitch axis. So again, same thing with roll. See how I'll roll? I'm going back and forth. Pitch, I'm just going to go up and down. See how I like that response? And it feels a bit sluggish to me. And so since this aircraft is longer front to back, our pitch P is going to be higher than our roll P. Come in and land. So if you notice on this aircraft, see how it's longer front to back? So that means that when it's in the air and I need it to stop, it's going to require more power to stop itself in a flip as compared to a roll, because the aircraft is having to throw more weight around on the pitch axis, so our PIDs are going to have to come up. So I'm going to go from 4 on the pitch axis to 5. All right, so my pitch P value has been increased from 4 to 5. Let's go up. Okay, that feels better, but I'm hearing some oscillations because I have no D value for pitch. I feel like it could go higher. Well, I don't know. Let's go up another, let's go up from 5 to 6 on pitch. Let's see how that feels. I've increased my P value from 5 to 6. Let's see how that feels. Okay, yeah, that's a lot more responsive. Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So I'm gonna go, okay, so yaw P I'm gonna hold off on, because yaw is, you can only really tune it kind of when you're flying and like cornering hard around something. So for example, if you're flying around an object and you feel like it's like the aircraft is kind of blowing out wide and you're just like, just get into the turn, increase your yaw P. So now I'm gonna go from P to D. We're gonna start tuning D values now. Okay, so I've increased my roll D from 5 to 10. And so for this, I'm gonna be listening for any kind of like oscillations, like after I finish off a roll, and because I want it to kind of smooth out the P values. So let's do that. Oh yeah, okay. I'm still getting a big bobble, especially on pitch. Roll D is gonna have to go up. Let's go up to 15. Actually, that feels good. Well, okay. Alright, so I might increase roll D a little bit more, but it's ballpark good for the purposes of this video. Again, I'm not trying to get a perfect tune right now, I'm just trying to show you the process. So now let's go up on our pitch D, which I'm just gonna go straight from 0 to 20 because I know it's bobbling around again, it's longer front to back. All right, so I've gone from 0 on pitch D all the way up to 20, and I'm just using that number just from experience, but if you were starting from scratch, then you would just increase it in incremental numbers until those fast flips or bobbles and whatnot went away. So let's go up and see how she feels. Oh yeah, that's smooth. Okay, I think I still might need to go up a little bit higher, but roll and they feel good. They feel very good. Yeah, that's really smooth. That's amazing. I'm pretty happy with this tune. The only thing left is yaw, so let me just pop a fresh battery on here and I'll show you how I tune yaw. Right now my yaw P is at 6. That's probably gonna need to come up, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fly around just some of these trees. I'll adjust it from there. I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. Okay, so like for example this tree right here, let's say if I wanted to cut it kind of sharp like that, I feel like it's blowing out, like it's going wide. Like I feel like it's not getting in there the way I would like it to. So yeah. Anyway, let's bump it up a bit. And yaw is extremely passive, and I don't use any yaw D, so you just have to worry about P if you're running 4S. Okay, just let it fall into the grass. So yeah, I'm just gonna crank yaw P up from 6 to 8. Again, if you're not comfortable doing that, then you can increase these numbers in like 5 or 10 increments. I'm just kind of rushing a little bit to save time, but the process is the same. You can take it as slow or as fast as you want. All right, risen yaw P from 6 to 8. Let's go fly it. Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, yeah, so I I'm gonna call this thing just baseline tuned. I will probably go in and tweak these numbers a little bit, but for the most part, this feels very good to fly. Just kind of did a very sloppy Rubik's Cube. And that's a Spin Master trick for you. Anyway, that feels really good. The last thing that I'm going to tune is the I values. And how you tune I typically is you like, I'll go up and I'll just throw the quad upside down, and if I see it drift in any direction, then I'll increase I on whatever axis I see it drifting on in the FPV feed. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so another thing too, I-wise, is okay, so I'm just pulsing the throttle, and I want the image, or I want my quad's nose to stay flat. If you are, if you see the nose bobbling up and down as you kind of pulse the throttle like I'm doing, then you would either increase I on the pitch axis, because it's, you know, bobbing up and down like this, or if you're running Betaflight, you can turn up your anti-gravity gains. So other than that, okay, so I see the quad is like stationary, it's good. So like, for example, okay, so if I went up and I saw it say drifting a little bit on an axis, that wasn't the quad drifting, that was me just moving the sticks just to show you what I'm talking about. Then I would increase I on whatever axis I saw it drifting on. Today the wind is pretty still, so it's kind of hard to tune I, but if it's like kind of a semi-windy day, then what you would do is you would just kind of go up, throw the quad inverted, and kind of see if it starts to move or whatever in the wind. So you want to increase or decrease those values until the quad is able to hold its orientation steady as it kind of free falls towards the earth. So again, I can't really demonstrate how to tune I today because it's not windy enough to demonstrate it, but that method is how you would tune your I values. That's going to do it for this PID tuning tutorial. I hope it was helpful and or entertaining for you. Feel free to follow this method as fast or as slow as you would like. I'll also include my final PID tune for this quad down in the description below. One last thing I will say about tuning is make sure you tune in all up weight. And what I mean by that is tune your quad exactly as if you were going to fly on a day-to-day basis. So if you are flying or tuning a freestyle rig, make sure you've got your battery in the correct CG, and also make sure you're carrying your GoPro. If you're tuning a race rig, then tune it as how you would run it during your race course. Again, just tune it at your all-up weight. Also including battery size. So like, for example, I fly a lot of 1300 milliamp hour packs. So the whole PID tuning thing that I just did was done on 1300s. If you like to fly 1500 packs, make sure you're running 1500 packs when you tune. Or if you're running 6S, you want to do a 6S tune, make sure you're running the 6S pack that you like the most. So anyway, hope this was informative and or entertaining. If you like what you saw, please like and comment down below. So anyway, let's cue the flight footage in 3, 2, 1.